because I think the main people that claim to believe in him and follow him, they would be the ones that doubt him the most.
Be careful now. Be careful now.
I'm just saying, I think they would. You look at some of these political parties and politicians, and they love to quote him and cite him as the reason for why they're doing something. And he'd just be like, oh, no, I don't rock with that. Yes, you do.
I ain't say that.
I'm Jesus. No, I don't. Yes, you do.
I said feed the poor.
What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. I am Tavares Ferguson, aka Ferg, joined my co-host Rozzy and Buff. Fellas, tell them what's on your minds.
Love that intro. I already shared with you two brothers what I'm about to share with the audience, but my cousin had a wonderful dream. And I just say, speak it, receive it, claim it, all that good stuff. She said she had a dream that Three Brothers No Sense grossed $7.5 million in a year. And I say, let's manifest that. Let's make that happen.
I'm with it.
So thank you, cousin, for that dream. And let's, fellas, let's make that happen. That's all
my cousins at. Where my cousins at? With all my family, if they all dream $1, I will be rich.
You know, she honestly admitted too. She was like, I was a little jealous too, because I was like, he gonna be able to quit his job and just podcast all day.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yo, but man, I gotta respect content creators though. Like, we do our thing and it's fun or whatever. But some of these guys, like some of the stuff that they put out there and like the videos that they put together and everything, I mean, it's genius. These folks have some talent to do the things that they do, man. So hats off to any content creator that's out there.
Cosign.
You know what would be crazy? What would be dangerous? The world is lucky we're in 3 different cities.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
if we were all local, bruh. Oh man, this doesn't look like a Christmas card. Buff over here sipping his hot cocoa with from a Three Brothers mug with a pepper. I mean, not a cotton candy. Candy cane.
2 marshmallows, by the way.
2 marshmallows.
Yeah.
Organic.
we went to Wegmans and got all the marshmallows.
Fresh marshmallows.
Whole Foods. Fresh Market.
So you guys get yours out of the bag. I go to the local marshmallow Catessin. These are Belgian marshmallows. You know, you can taste they have an extra hint of cinnamon and nutmeg in there.
Yeah, man. That's all I got, man. Let's make that dream happen, though.
What else you guys got? That's it, Rozzy?
No. For me, I just wanted. I saw this tip for the ladies out there, and so I just wanted to pass this on. But ladies, if you're looking for the most natural shade of lipstick that you can find, that it would be the color of your nipples. So just I want to help y'all out, but that's how you can find out. So if you're in Sephora or at the MAC counter, just whip it out and be like, hey, I need this. That works. The other thing I wanted to say.
Wow.
Oh, you have more. Hey. Okay.
Yeah.
You remember that episode when someone, if Kanye was on the show, we had to cut him off? It's one of those Kanye moments.
The other thing I want to say is F Ticketmaster, because I was trying so hard to get these Symphony Jeezy concert tickets. I was trying to be bougie and ratchet at the same time. It was not working, and they kept erroring out. And so now I'm ticketless, and I got to go to the scalpers and pay double the fee to go to this concert. But I am going to go to this concert because that just sounds dope as hell to listen to a symphony and have them play Jeezy music the whole time.
Hopefully they don't charge like they did for Rick Ross when he did it. But you rich, so you'll probably pay it anyway. But it is dope. Like, I watched some of the video from
How much did you pay for your ticket?
I didn't go.
How much were they charging?
I think they did like, man, I think the orchestra level was like, maybe I want to say 600, but that might have been better. Orchestra might have been more, but they
it's 200 and 100 for that. So orchestra,
no, that's the pre-sale price. You got to deal with the scalpers now.
Oh yeah. The scalper price might be totally different. Yes, yeah.
But I don't think Jeezy would go as high as Rose.
In Atlanta?
Yeah, time.
Because he's from Atlanta.
Yeah, but time-wise, like, Rick Ross still dropping, like, relevant stuff. Like, Jeezy ain't being really relevant for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, hell, even when he did his verses, it was, like, throwback.
I tell you what, if he does My President is Black, that's going to be dope to hear the orchestra.
The orchestra playing that? Yes, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, man. For a music lover, somebody that
ever wrote.
Is it a black tie affair?
Yeah, the video I saw, cats had on suits and tuxes and everything.
It's going to be, it's the symphony. So it is 100%. It's probably not black tie, but yes, you should be dressed up. I mean, you should be suited up and that type of thing. It is Atlanta though. I've gone to some stuff and you never know what you're gonna get, but technically, you should be in a suit. So I'm actually really excited about it.
So you're going?
I'm going. I'm gonna make it happen. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make it happen. If I'm in the balcony, I might be in the balcony because I can't afford the orchestra seats, but because I'm not rich, like you be trying to say. So
yeah, you are actually.
But anyway, Ferg, what you got, man?
And I'm actually proud of you for doing that because I will say this: you might not, know what you want to do, and when you figure out what you want to do, you do it. Like you commit to it. I'm still working on that because Monday was my birthday, and for the last couple of months, everybody's been asking me what am I going to do for my birthday, and when it comes down to it, I ain't gonna do shit. And so at one point, I thought about going to the Cowboys-Texans game. It was in Dallas, my birthday weekend, interstate rival. They play every 3 to 4 years, and Cowboys are doing pretty good this season. Texans are trash. Dallas is one of my favorite cities just to hang out in. Perfect thing, and I just never could commit. So I commend you for doing that. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna get these tickets. When is the symphony?
January 27th.
Yeah, that Friday, whatever it is. So yeah, 27th.
Yeah, so that's dope. I'm trying to be more like that because at the end of the day, I was kind of the closer I got, the more I had, I guess, non-buyer's remorse.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was like, man, I just should have went. I'm actually glad I didn't go because I would have been pissed.
Yeah, that game.
All game. And if I was been there, we probably would have lost. So, I have a horrible track record when it comes to going to Cowboys games and them winning. So, but that's about it, man. Enjoyed my birthday. Wife still treated me well. Enjoyed the family. My mom came in town for another event, and so I got to spend some time with her. Outside of that, just thankful I'm here. And we said this a couple of weeks ago and last week as well. Check on your strong friends, check on your weak friends, check on your friends, period, your family, check on people. It's a tough time of year. I was reminded of no matter how much I complain or how bad or good I think things are going, there are people who are facing life-changing events every day, rising out of both lost loved ones in the last 2 weeks. I have a coworker who is battling cancer. Has been battling for the greater part of a year. He's had ups and downs. Recently had a down. We're hoping he pulls through. This time last year, they didn't think he was going to see last Christmas, and he's still here fighting. He's younger than all of us. When I say life can change like that, and we've all seen life change in the blink of eye, right? Things that we just never thought were going to happen. We look up an hour, 2 hours later, our life has never been the same. And so just thankful that We're here. I'm here. We have our health and all that. So maybe that was something I should have saved for the end of the show, but I wanted to get that out in the air while we're dealing with it. So with that being said, where is Sophia?
She is up. She is ready too. She has her joke. So hold on one second. Let me go grab her.
Hello, Sophie.
Greetings, Sophia.
Greetings.
How was your day?
Very good.
I love your head wrap. Is
Thank
that
you.
leopard?
It's a cheetah.
Cheetah.
Oh,
Yeah.
a cheetah.
Yeah.
And she wrapped it herself. She's gotten to
Yeah.
where she can wrap her own hair up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have no forehead, but
She's so advanced. So advanced.
No, I just don't have
where's
one
your
of
forehead?
those. They're all gone.
yeah.
It's just not.
Or
there.
eyebrows.
Yeah, they're all gone.
Yeah, it happens. Well, do you have a good joke for us today?
Yes, a very good joke. With my
Uh-oh.
eyebrows.
Oh.
No, they're going back. What tea do rich people buy?
There's black tea. There's no gold tea though. No platinum tea. Diamond tea. I'm out.
Got anything yet?
I got nothing.
Property.
That.
I'm
Let me tell you something.
amazing, aren't you?
That's good right there. That's good right there.
Yep. Did your daddy get it when? Did he get it when you gave it to him? Did he guess it?
No, he gave me the joke. He already
Roger,
knew.
say the joke for us.
It's
See
not
if it works.
it's not funny anymore.
Let's see if you do if it works.
No.
No, do it.
No, because they know the answer already. So I'm gonna get this blank stare. And no, they're not gonna set me up for failure.
Proper tea.
Okay,
I like
okay.
Property.
All right.
I'm gonna use that.
See you.
Bye bye.
She's in there teaching Haley and her friend how to play chess.
She's teaching them.
How to play chess. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
sound
boy.
surprised.
Girl is super advanced, man.
Yeah, man. She's smart. So
I went first last week, so one of you jokers.
How about you go, Razzie? Well, before we get into it, once again, this is Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. And what I do want to remind our listeners is we don't prep for this. This is all off the dome. This is freestyle. So when you hear the questions, we hear the questions. So with that being said, let's jump into it. Risey, what you got for us?
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
all right, I got two actually, and I'm trying to. Yeah, we haven't touched on it, so let's go for this one. Brittany Griner, you guys know she came home. We haven't actually announced that on the show yet, and so that's a big deal. I know Buff, you mentioned it a bunch of times, and wanted to keep thoughts and everything like that as we went through and tried to get her home. So we did make the deal, and it was for Ivan Vanko. And if you guys don't know, he's AKA the Merchant of Death. So big time arms dealer, been in prison for a long time. Russia wanted him back, yada, yada, yada. So that was the deal. We're hearing a whole bunch of feedback on how it was a good deal, how it was a bad deal, how we're happy she come home, yada, yada, yada. We shouldn't have done it. Some people are saying, why didn't we get the Marine out? Yeah, whatever it is. So I wanted to ask you brothers, and especially you, Buff, I wanted you to opine on Was that a good deal? Did it make sense? And are we satisfied?
So screw poor little me.
No, but I know Buff, this was kind of one of his babies. I don't even know if I was stealing your thunder. I didn't know if that was going to be your question or not.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay.
Is it a good deal? I guess that remains to be seen. You know, the so-called Merchant of Death has already reportedly said if he could fight in the Ukraine war for Russia, he would right now. So if he winds up, I guess, doing the stuff that he was doing to get him locked up in the first place and kills people or stuff like that, then yeah, it's probably, especially if he kills Americans, then yeah, it's probably a bad deal. But if he fades away and 2-3 years from now, we've forgotten all about him and he dies quietly somewhere, it's a great deal. I love how everybody becomes experts on subjects all of a sudden out of thin air. Like, we had people, they've never heard of this guy, but all of a sudden they're telling us how bad of a deal it is, and using the Marine that we have over there and how we should, like, first off, we're still working on getting the Marine. Okay, just because we got Griner doesn't mean we're done with all negotiations. We're trying to get him as well. Secondly, for all the people who keep saying, well, Brittany shouldn't have broke the law. She shouldn't have broke the law. She broke the law, so that's why she's over there. So did this Marine. This Marine was court-martialed. This Marine was, bad misconduct?
Misconduct, bad discharge, yep.
Yeah, so like, as the white media like to say about black criminals, he was no angel. So, like, we just love to get our takes out there and just get I call them social media points. At the end of the day, that girl they had moved her from prison to where I think she was like in a camp or something like that. Like, it was getting even worse for her. So you just have to think, if that was you, and that's what everybody needs to ask themselves, if that was you, would you want the U.S. government to make that deal? Because yeah, we could say she did break the law, but I have seen too many people bang the drums on how certain individuals need second chances. We believe in second chances. I always hear how people should be given second chances. You can't be someone, this is completely off topic, but you can't be someone that was craving to hear the new R. Kelly album that dropped for like 3 hours last week. You was craving that album, but you wanted to chastise Britney for breaking the law, and she deserved to do 9 years for having cannabis oil or whatever the hell it was. So whether or not, to your original question, we'll see if it was a good deal. I'm happy she's home. That's where I ended at.
Well, there's a couple of things. I'm going to pick up where Byron left off with if it were you, and then the turnaround argument, it's going to be, if it was me, nobody would be protesting, nobody would make a big deal out of it and stuff like that, because I'm a regular person, which I get it, and maybe they're right, but also, and this is where I kind of I pivoted to. We had this conversation at my barbershop the other day. Was a regular person like me wouldn't have got 10 years, because there's no point in giving me 10 years.
Yep.
America, oh yeah, we got Tavares Ferguson over here. He has some cannabis on him. Who? There's no reason to give me. There's no reason to give me 10 years. And so, yes, she broke the law. My thing is, it's not that she broke the law. The crime is she got caught up in political theater. She got caught. She's a pawn in Russia's "I got your bitch," saga. That's it. That's it. Like, it's more so. It's not that she broke the law. She had been over there for years. Yes, they told her to leave. She'd been back. Yeah, she'd been going over there for 4 years. Yes, she broke the law. She did something. She should have been punished. Yeah, if she would have gotten the norm for that law or breaking that law, we really couldn't argue. Like, if she would have got a year, 2 years, you know what, like, hey, bring her home, but like, hey, you know what, it is what it is. It's 2 years. 10 years? For not even weed? Like, you got like some weed residue. it was a trap, and she got caught up in it. And so it was Russia trying to make a political statement, and nobody deserves to. No single civilian deserves to get caught up in political just warfare. Like that is not the case. So yes, she broke the law. If she would have served a reasonable or been given a reasonable term, I would have wanted her to come home, but I couldn't get mad. Same thing with anybody here. What we see in America, if the disproportion in sentencing from blacks and whites, we don't get mad that the fact that this person got arrested and they're going to jail. Take Ray Ray to jail. But the fact that Ray Ray's going for 10 to 15 and somebody else is getting probation and community service, that's the difference. And that's what it is here. So I'm happy she came home because she didn't deserve what was given to her. And like you said, we'll never know. And it was a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if we wouldn't have got her, Russia would have been lauding that over our heads for the next 9 years. Point blank. Right? And like you said, Buff, if he doesn't do anything, a year from now, 2 years from now, we'll never have this conversation again. It'll be, look back on 2022, Time Magazine or some stuff on, VH1 or whoever might have remember 2022? It's like, oh yeah, you remember when she was locked up? But it won't be free Britney shirts. It's the longer they held her, the more leverage they had, the more they could push her in our face that we can't do anything. And, so it was a damned if you do, damned if you don't. We can't predict what this guy's going to do. You can't hold her based off of, he might go and do this. He might go and do that. Now, if he does, which I think he will, just because, and this is just a civilian conspiracy theorist, if I was Russia, I damn sure would make sure he did something. I would find a way because I would love to. Mm-hmm. They want to see it backfire.
Yeah. It's a good way to undermine America and the politics and the politicians by lauding him or touting him and showing that, oh, you did make a bad choice. You released this guy and look, he's running drugs and running arms again. But
don't do it on American soil. Do it to another country. Do it to an ally. Do something where now we got to explain to Israel why they have to deal with this guy.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I mean, the thing about it is, when you talk about a normal person, they wouldn't have been this outcry. I don't know if y'all remember old buddy that got caned or in Singapore or whatever. Yep. He was just a normal guy, and it was like 10 lashes, and they were making a big deal out of it. So I don't know if just because it was a regular person, it wouldn't have been as much of an outroar. But what I think what happened
back real quick. We didn't hear about the Marine until Brittany.
True.
There are how many Americans are prisoners unjustly across the world? We don't talk about.
Yeah.
Brittany Griner is the first time we've had this conversation. In Singapore, they made it go viral. They videoed it. They put it in our face to kind of mock Americans. So you had to see it. So.
Yeah. So that, and I also think about it takes me back to I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, when old buddy got out of the prison and he had all those like high heels and stuff like that. Or any other movie where the OG goes to prison for a long time and comes back and tries to jump back in the game but ain't really got it anymore. I feel like that's what Ivan is like. He's like, yeah, I'm getting back in the game, but when we locked him up, it didn't stop the movement of guns or arms across any border, right? I mean, the thing was, yes, he did a lot and he was really good at what he did, but you're talking 15, 20 years ago that he was doing that, right? It's a big difference of being able to walk back in and what the technology that we have today, everything that we have today, and saying, yeah, I'm about to run some guns, like the old days. And people are going to be like, all right, old timer, we got you. Like, I feel like he's not going to walk back in and just be the merchant of death again. That's not how that really works when you're talking about getting back in the game. So yes, he might go back out and he might run some guns and he might actually, be able to give some advice and be like, oh, well, we can fix this and clean this up. But gun running hasn't stopped. Like there are armed dealers out there right now that are doing their thing. So I feel like it was a good deal for that main purpose. That's why Russia gave her such a crazy, term and sentence, because they knew they were already setting it up, that they knew who they wanted. They had their eyes set, and they were already kind of thinking about how the prisoner exchange was going to happen. So I think that was really all that they were going to take. They were only going to do the 1-for-1, and they knew who they wanted, and that was it. And so I feel like it was a good deal. I really don't care, what happens, but like we said, hindsight is 20/20. If it comes down to he sells some guns and then, it ends up, I don't know, some white kid going in and shooting up a school. So that's the other thing. It's like we're dealing with that already without him. I'm not worried about it. I'm fine with it.
His name is Victor Bout, by the way.
Oh yeah. Ivan Vanko.
Rozzy, you were talking about him going in and being all right, old timer. You got me thinking this guy gonna be going on tour doing like Tony Robbins speeches. Drug runners. He's gonna be a motivational drug runner speaker. Bring him to the stage. Oh man.
Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Zysol is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Zysol keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all. Take Zysol. At night.
Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other toppings, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Oh man, I forgot my question that fast. Oh, are we good?
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
So my question is going to be kind of a weird one. I wrote it down the other day and I forgot about it until I started speaking and I talked about conspiracy theorists. Do you guys consider yourselves conspiracy theorists?
Not at all.
I think we talked about flat earthers and stuff and some of the Kanye stuff over the years. My question is, what is the biggest conspiracy theory that if you found out it was true, you'd be like, well, I'll be damned. How cool would that be? It's like, man, ain't no way the world is flat. It's like, the world is flat. Like, you can have more than one. Like, what would be the coolest one? We posted the one about not even posted a theory. We posted a video or a picture of the scientist saying this is what Moses looked like, and he looked like Hollywood Hogan. What if Jesus was really blue-eyed and, with abs and blonde hair?
I think the coolest one for me is the hollow earth theory. So if you guys know, it's like hollow earth, like there's an earth within the earth, and the portal to it is in like Antarctica or whatever, and that's why they won't let us in Antarctica. Not to say that, oh, it's really, really cold and there's nothing there and you're probably gonna die. That's probably why they won't let you there. Go there. But that's kind of one of the things is that that conspiracy theory out there is that. So that's pretty cool. I think would be kind of like a oh wow moment if that happened and we did kind of walk into kind of a second Earth under the original crust of the Earth.
And what's in Hollow Earth?
There's a bunch of different theories. So some theories it's like there's dinosaurs and like a whole nother ecosystem under there. There's other folks that think there's aliens there, and an advanced race that's there. So it's all over the place with who's in the Hollow Earth, but truly the Hollow Earth is kind of like a second Earth within the crust of the world. But they're not flat earthers because they do think it's a sphere and that there's a second Earth inside of it.
And that's what the mole people are, bro. But I mean, that's ridiculous because the end of the Earth is in Antarctica as well. So
yeah, you have
there's no way the Earth is. Yeah, there's nowhere the Earth is hollow. That's why they won't let us in our Antarctica, sir. Like, get your facts straight.
That one and the other one I really like is the ancient alien theory. Because that is one that I don't know, maybe
the hollow Earth might be a little, but it's like the ancient aliens is like it's conspiracy. You know, they help build the pyramids and all this stuff and all that. It'd be like all of a sudden tomorrow, like we back. What they do to the Sphinx? You know, the Sphinx ain't really the Sphinx. That was like John. Like, they messed John's statue up.
If they look like the Sphinx, or something like that, or the Egyptian gods and stuff like that. What is it? Stargate was a perfect example of that. Like Stargate was an awesome movie. If anybody wants to go back and watch an old sci-fi movie, but I think that is kind of a cool theory that has a little validity to it, and there's a possibility, but there's no way to prove it. So those are the kind of conspiracy theories that I'm like not super like, oh my god, that's dumb, right? Because we really just can't prove it 100%. And when you run the numbers, the probability is there that more than likely there are sentient beings out in the universe, right? It's too large. You just run the numbers. It makes sense. Now, can they do interspace travel and all that stuff? That's where we don't know. But I think that ancient alien theory is something that could happen or be real.
The most ridiculous ones, I was gonna say just the Sandy Hook shooting, but pretty much any mass shooting where people say they're not real, those were just crisis actors, and it's just an attempt to take away gun rights or whatever their reason behind it. I think that's probably the most ridiculous one. The coolest
I just got
one,
mad, by the way.
Yeah, the coolest one I think is predicting when Jesus will return. Not that I don't believe he'll ever return, but the people who claim to know the exact date, there is documented history, time after time, of people predicting, and they're wrong. So if someone today came out and say, hey man, God spoke to me, Jesus is coming January 17th, 2023, I'd be like, shut your ass up. And then like
I hope they're wrong though.
And then if Jesus shows up, I'd be like, yo. Whoa.
My God, my bad, my guy.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, it ain't me. It's a conspiracy, man. After the 2012 whole thing, you know, that threw me for a loop because niggas was nervous in 2012.
Oh yeah,
People were nervous. Like
George Lucas sold Lucas Arts right before 2012 because he believed it.
The 2012 that might have been the most bought into conspiracy in recent history. Can you think of one that was more?
Y2K.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's the thing. Is that a conspiracy theory, or was that just a theory?
Y'all was buying all the sandwich meetings. All the computers was gonna shut down.
Everybody, there was a run on banks. People like when it got cash. Like you understand that if the banking system dies, then your cash means nothing either. So
and I also think it would be pretty cool if someone predicted when. I've always wondered how Jesus would be treated, because I think the main people that claim to believe in him and follow him, they would be the ones that doubt him the most.
Be careful now. Be careful now.
I'm just saying, I think they would. You look at some of these political parties and politicians, and they love to quote him and cite him as the reason for why they're doing something. And he'd just be like, oh, no, I don't rock with that. Yes, you do.
I ain't say that.
I'm Jesus. No, I don't. Yes, you do.
I said feed the poor and love your neighbor.
That's not what you meant. That's not what you meant.
They'll pull out the Constitution and they start going against the Bible.
It'll be like not comparing
MLK.
Martin Luther King. Yeah, I'm not comparing him to Jesus, but it'd be like that MLK Boondocks episode. Like,
But I think it'll be funnier because nobody knows what he really said. Can you imagine him like sitting in the waiting room somewhere reading the Bible like, what the hell is this? Lord, why have you forsaken me? I don't talk like that. Like, oh man, it's.
You know how many people be asking him for money? Hey man, I've been saying my prayers every night. I just wonder if you could.
I heard him.
I just wonder if you could bless a brother, man. Just
so when you were praying every night, did I bless you then?
Like you have everything you need. I know, but
so you saying I ain't bless you?
I've been looking at the S-Class Benz, and I think I deserve it.
Increase.
Oh man,
mine really, I guess, was the Ancient Aliens thing, because it just seems that and the supernatural, like with ghosts and stuff like that, But Ancient Aliens, the whole creation thing, like there's too many similarities to a lot of these deities and gods and alien theories that we're just like, this painting sure looks a lot like this painting, and they're 2,000 miles away from each other. And or is that and it's not even really a conspiracy theorist. It's like when you really get into studying ancient civilizations across the world and how like they're finding African statues and skeletons in North and South America centuries older than Columbus, who discovered America. Those things that I feel like hopefully, and these are, it's so crazy. It's not even conspiracy. It's just they don't want to share the facts with the world. Like, nah, we can't let these niggas know that they really found America and we took it from them. Mm-hmm. But the Ancient Aliens one has always been the coolest one to me because it's like so many people believe in it or believe parts of it that it's just, there's got to be some truth to some of it, because some of it we still, it's just hard to explain. We've been to Egypt, and when you see the size of these ancient structures and the precision that went with it, maybe they can get the math right. I got that. But when you look at how big these stones were and how they had to carry them from the quarry to the sites, that'll be an undertaking in 2022. So there has to be more. And then I forgot what it's called. Like the Sims theory. Like we're really in a Sims.
We're in a simulation? Yeah. Almost like the Matrix. That one's just wild to me.
Yeah, so that was always cool, crazy. Or even like Men in Black, where they had we're part of a smaller galaxy. I think at the original, mm-hmm. where they had the little aliens, and then at the end we were our I guess universe was it was a marble, and some like aliens were playing with our universe. Yep. So we could be a single cell, like Earth could be a single cell inside of a huge body, alien body or something, because like that. Microbes don't sit there and think about the vast world outside of them. The world they know is the world they know. And to think that we're at the top of the evolutionary food chain, going back to Ishmael, is very arrogant at the end of the day. I believe we are, because I'm arrogant, but when you think about it, is what makes the world stop here? Why does a buck stop here? Because that's humans. All I got for that one, fellas.
We're the ultimate.
Yeah. And superheroes.
Let me see how I want to ask this. I was gonna frame it like this, but what has happened to black sitcoms? But I don't want to quite ask it like that. How about this? There are some black sitcoms out there. Blackish ended like I think earlier this year, maybe late last year. But it doesn't seem like the youth really watch sitcoms like we did growing up. We had Cosby Show, Good Times, Jefferson, Amen, all of those shows. Once our generation ages out, is that kind of like the end of the black sitcom, like having the attention of young people? And do you think it's important to have prominent black sitcoms that the youth gravitate to? Like we had Martin, we would go to school and quote the episode from the previous night. Roz, you have the oldest kids, so maybe you can tell us better than I know. Like I know my daughter doesn't really rock with any of the black sitcoms, so help me out. Am I even right on this or what?
I think there are some out there, but when you kind of mention that age gap, we have Southside. We have Southside on HBO. We have a couple others. ATL was a sitcom when you really think about it. ATL, you got Grownish is semi-sitcom, little bit of drama. I mean, when you think about same as what was it? Different World. So it's kind of that same college level sitcom type thing. So you got that. Abbott Elementary is another one that I think kind of goes along those lines as a black predominantly black sitcom. So they're out there. But when you think about who's watching them, it's probably our generation. I think Grownish is one that probably like Haley might watch, but she really doesn't watch it. And so I don't know if that's just a preference or not. I think their sitcoms, or what you would think are sitcoms, are just shorter. So it's not that they don't have them. I think they have them in smaller bites, and they're on TikTok. They're on Facebook Watch. They're watching them there, right? I mean, when you think about Big Ja, that's a sitcom because his videos are 10 minutes, 15 minutes long, and you just end with to the max, but at the same time, so it's that. So I think it's the structure just changed. They didn't have 30-minute blocks sit down on a media station to watch it, but I think sitcoms are happening. They're just happening faster and with smaller bites in different locations. So I think social media has taken the place of just that sit down, watch a show type thing.
So even with that though, I like Big Jaw's skits or whatever like that, and a lot of what I see on TikTok. But can you compare that structure to what we had with A Different World and some of the other sitcoms we watched?
No, not really. I think it's probably those types of things are probably more your Mad TV's Saturday Night Live skits. Like you mentioned, it's a skit, right? I think that's probably where they live a little bit more. But those characters, you get used to those characters. You see them a lot more than with like a skit on Saturday Night Live, where you might not see that character again for 6 months, right? So you don't really get vested in the character as much. So they align probably more to a sitcom than they would to a sketch or a show or something like that. So I do think they fit there, but no, there's definitely, but you also got to think there weren't as many as you might think of black sitcoms. There were 4 or 5 on UPN at the time, right? Or the CW or whatever. So you had your Friday night, Thursday night block, and then maybe a couple when you talk about your Martins and your Living Singles and stuff that were on Fox. But they were all at different times blocks there when you talk about it. And I think you still have 4 or 5 out there that's struggling, but I just think TV's struggling in general. And so I think that's a little bit of it.
So sitcom means situational comedy, but when I think about sitcom, I think about sitting down and watching it, and it's just things have, I'm not going to say developed, they've changed, they evolved to the point where these kids are always on the go. And so their shows are on the go. we sat down on Fridays to watch Family Matters. We sat down on Thursday nights to watch The Cosby Show and A Different World. We had to be there. These kids, the world they live in, they don't, there's no benefit to them committing to anything. So there's no benefit to a show like Big Jaw, somebody committing to a station.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would BET or anybody pick them up when they can do what they do the way they do it? Especially comedy. Comedy is not, it's changed. And like Rising said, there's not as many as we think, because our generation really overlapped our parents' generation. So when we think of sitcoms, we're still, as young as we are or were, we still watched our parents' comedies. We still can tune into the Jeffersons. We still tune into
Sanford and Son was really our parents.
Yeah. Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
But we grew
Amen was my jump.
We grew up watching the same thing our parents watched. And Amen came out when we were young. So even though it was a young show, 227, stuff like that, we still will watch, like he said, Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son came out before we were born. What's happening? Like, we watched episodes of those things. We watched these things that our parents watched when they were younger. Our kids aren't about to sit down and watch Martin like that. Jasmine will cuss you out if you made her sit down and watch Martin today. Sanford and Son is her Martin. You know, the Jeffersons, all those things. They don't want to sit down and watch The Cosby Show. I tried to get Scott to sit down and watch The Cosby Show with me for a little while, because I called her my little Rudy at one time. She's like, "Who's Rudy?" So I showed her a Cosby Show episode. She's like, "All right, Daddy, okay if I don't watch this?" Like, she was over it, you know, because in her mind, she has so many options. She can watch all these other things. Reality TV is taking over sitcoms. Sitcoms were pretty much the only, and the reason I think sitcoms were so popular was they were generally the only representation of us on television. There wasn't a lot of black dramas, no dramedies, because that's what they're watching more. Anything like, even when you were talking about Grownish, I would consider that more of a dramedy, where it's more drama, but it has some comedic moments and stuff like that. But reality TV and all that stuff, they can have straight up drama shows and showing black love and dating and all this stuff, with some of the stuff that Tyler Perry's putting on his stations, and all the, you know, sisters and brothers and whatever these shows are. I've never watched any of them. You know, what is there's another one that I forgot somebody, but there's a lot of representation. So they don't have to stick to just comedies, because outside of comedies, you might have saw a black character on a TV show, like a I can't remember, wasn't Shamar Moore was on Young and the Restless? Shamar Moore and stuff like that. And then Diane Carroll was on like Dallas or Falcon Crest or Knox Landing, one of those shows. Like, you might have had that one exceptional character that represented us in one of those shows, and that's when our moms would tune in to watch that, because they wanted to see Diane Carroll, you know, the one black chick and all this stuff. But we weren't represented well nowhere else outside of comedy. Think of a show, a black show from the 60s, 70s until New York Undercover, to me, might have been the first black non-comedy show where we were really...
I don't even know if it was black. It was people of color.
Yeah, but it was because it was in New
urban,
York.
at least.
They can't make it too black. But think about it. It was... Think of what was the first non-black... all black... Huh?
That was a good show too.
Yeah. You can't think of anything that showed us in our natural light, where that's why New York Undercover took off, because we all gravitated to, it was a representation of us, or what we wanted to be us. We're in Mobile, Alabama. Ain't nothing like that going on in Mobile, Alabama. They ain't going to no club, listening to no live jazz, and you know, catching the subway. Like, G was cool as hell. Like, we all related to that lifestyle. because it represented us, even though it had nothing to do with what we were seeing in the South.
Yeah.
You know, so the black sitcom place is not as prevalent as it was because there's so many forums that showcase black talent that we don't have to ask for permission to be represented anymore. Social media has given us the right to say, hey, this person has a good content. You were talking about content creators earlier, Rozzy. This person has good content. People like it. And Issa, that's how Issa made it big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, YouTube.
Issa made it big. She went from, what was it? Whatever her show was.
Another Black Girl or something. Awkward Black
Girls to Insecure.
Yeah. I mean, same thing with Abbott Elementary. Oh, girl, it's a large. I mean, she went from that one video to writing, and I think she won a Grammy or something off of her.
Did Insecure? Did Haley watch Insecure?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Insecure might have had the young people. I could see that.
So, and that's what I mean.
That was more of a dramedy too.
It's a dramedy. It was probably more of a drama than a dramedy. Yeah.
You had a few characters that made it funny.
But you also look at, you talk about black sitcoms. Sitcoms in general are generally dying too, though. There's not a lot of them, even on the white side, where you say, oh, what is it? Modern Family. You had that. And
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, those types of shows, like they're few and far between. They're starting to die out too, even on just generally. I think it's more of the dramedies and those types of things where they're adding a little bit more. It's not as lighthearted as it was back in our day.
Yeah, America's not as censored too. Like we can get into deeper content, and it doesn't have to be everything. Doesn't have to be wrapped up in a pretty bow.
I think that's what happened too. I think the younger generations, they crave, even if it's like you mentioned reality TV. Reality TV really isn't real, but it comes across as real, and it's not noticeably scripted like a sitcom is. And I think young people do gravitate more to what seems real. And so with content creators, you're seeing their real life. You're seeing what they're allowing you to see, but you're still seeing like their real life and stuff like that. So I asked if was it a bad thing that we don't necessarily have a lot. I don't think so. The message, because I've heard so many people say a different world made me want to go to an HBCU. And that's dope. That's dope as for a sitcom to have that type of influence over so many of our people. But I think that message still can be out there. I think, not to beat a dead horse, but I think Deion, when his time at Jackson State, he was drumming up a lot of interest in HBCUs. I think the push, even before Deion, the push for HBCUs has grown from what I've seen. So I think the messages that we got from black sitcoms, they're still out there. They're just out there in other ways. And
yeah. But I think the bad thing, not the bad thing, the challenge is there's so many options that things can be watered down. Like we don't gravitate. Like you have a few shows that we can all kind of talk about. Like, when everybody was watching, but those weren't sitcoms either. What's the Lucius and all the, I ain't watching Empire.
Power.
Like we still, and it's still drama. It's very rare that we talk about sitcoms and stuff like that. Nothing's causing us to really sit around a dinner table and have those conversations. Where,
especially since Blackish was that thing.
Yeah,
until
but even they caught the essence of it. But the thing about it is, maybe we'll sit around, but our kids weren't. Like I remember watching. Perfect example. I remember watching The Cosby Show when I was Skylar's age with my parents. Right? Skylar doesn't want to watch anything I want to watch. She has her own show. There's a whole world that caters to kids' entertainment.
Yeah,
there's
but that's because of access, right? Like when we were growing up, there was one TV in the house, 2 TVs, maybe 3 if you were in a really rich household. So you had everybody had to watch the same thing, right?
Yeah,
where now you go get your iPad, you're in your room on your TV, I'm downstairs in my TV.
Kids don't even watch the same thing.
Yeah. Like the both kids don't even have to fight and be like, hey, we're taking turns. I'm watching this, then you watch that. Like we had to do all of that.
That's why we grew up watching The Young and the Restless and stuff. You was watching shows with your group. How many of us watched The Price is Right and stuff like that? because there was not options, there wasn't access. We watched the same things.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of us could, know that we knew Bob Barker and all this stuff. There's no reason we knew that old white man. There's no reason for us to know him. But we grew up watching the same thing because we didn't have the options, and we sat around the lunch table, the breakfast table, watching the things. If you would have watched TV, this is what you're about to watch.
Right. And that was the other thing. Our parents didn't let us decide. So
because
nowadays,
parents, one or two TVs.
Well, but I mean, parents nowadays be like, "Oh, I'm gonna put on Paw Patrol, and that's what's gonna be on because that's what my kid want to watch." Our parents didn't care. Our parents were watching what they were gonna watch, and you go figure something out, or you sit down and watch this.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch these stories with me.
Matter of fact,
what's going?
Matter of fact, don't go do anything. You sit right there, play with your toys in front of this TV, so that I can watch you and watch my show at the same time.
All right, that was it, fellas. Good show. I had fun.
Good combo, man.
Every cup of Nespresso coffee is an invitation to transform your morning routine into a ritual you can treasure each and every day. Using the Vertuo Pup, a simple touch of the button freshly brews bold aromas and a rich, velvety crema layer for delicious cafe-quality coffee at home. Whether you enjoy your coffee hot or over ice, every sip, every morning is unforgettable. Nothing tastes like Nespresso coffee. Visit Nespresso.com or our app to explore our full range of easy-to-use machines and coffees not found anywhere else.
This episode is brought to you by Nerds Gummy Clusters, the sweet treat that always elevates the vibe. With a sweet gummy surrounded with tangy, crunchy nerds, every bite of Nerds Gummy Clusters brings you a whole new world of flavor. Whether it's game night, on the way to a concert, or kicking back with your crew, unleash your senses with Nerds Gummy Clusters.
Let's go ahead and close it out. Before we close it out, once again, want to thank all our listeners, especially Aspire You on Air, the new Beat of the Bay, for introducing us to the world. We are world renowned. They know us in these streets. Mama, I made it. All that good stuff. So with that being said, fellas, what you got?
You want to go first? Buff, go ahead.
All right. I'm doing my best not to make it too somber, but there's really no way around it. I actually didn't bring this up to you two brothers because I knew you guys were going through your own close family losses, but as it has seemed to happen all the time during our years doing this show, it hits each of us in close times. But our family had a loss. My little cousin down in Texas, Alasia, she lost her 10-month-old daughter who passed away. She had been battling not long after she was born. She was born February 26th of this year. And they finally had to take her off the machine, and she passed away December 12th. So I bring that up to first say thoughts and prayers are with you, Alasia. I'll definitely be reaching out to you personally. And secondly, for anyone that wants to give, you can use the hashtag Layla Forever. They have a GoFundMe set up, and it's LAYLAH FOREVER, Layla Forever. Hashtag Layla Forever. If you'd like to donate on social media, you just click on that and it'll pull up the GoFundMe if you're not friends with Alasia. But if you can, just give to them, give to that. And like I said, I was trying not to make it too summer, but it's no way around that. So love you, Alasia. I have no idea what that experience is like, losing a kid. So I know it's tough and difficult, but you have a strong support system.
Yeah, man. Definitely thoughts, prayers. We'll make sure to put the link out on Three Brothers No Sense for everybody who can get with that. But it's funny. I was going to kind of talk about that same thing. I feel like I've talked about suicide for the last 3 episodes. And once again, I don't know if you guys heard about DJ Twitch, I think is what he goes by. Used to be on Ellen. He does a lot of TikToks and everything with his wife and dance videos and stuff like that. And he died by suicide over the last couple of days or yesterday. And the crazy part about it is, I think it was like 3 hours before he committed suicide, he posted a video where he looked super happy and everything like that. And I bring that up because, too often we look at social media and we look at what folks are posting, and we think they're happy and we think they're fulfilled. And, definitely continue to check on your friends and everything. But my whole heart goes out to that family, anybody that's affected by that, anybody that's affected by suicide, especially. But we want to make sure that we're not looking at the social media posts and thinking that everything's all right with everybody. People are going through it, and so continue to check on your friends and get a little deeper than just, hey, how are you? And make sure you're really understanding what's going on with them. So that's all I got, man.
Well, I mean, we can't go away from it. We're there now. So to take what my brother said a little further, not only do you check on your friends, get them the help they need, encourage the help they need. Too often, we want to talk about how we would do things, give them advice that we think would help. And as great as your intentions may be, many times, many of us need real help. It's not a weakness. It's just a way to deal or cope or talk about or understand what you're going through. I'll share a little bit about me and one of my breakthroughs this year, because I try to be very grateful, and when I feel ungrateful, I feel guilty. And because I'm blessed and I have a beautiful wife, beautiful family, great job, I'm blessed, you know. And so many times I say I got nothing to complain about, you know. I remember where I came from. I remember where I was 5 years ago. I remember where I was 10 years ago. Dude, you wish you could be here. I'm blessed. And so my issues I want to write off, and I feel guilty. And we uncovered that first world problems are real world problems. I'll say that again. First world problems are real world problems. So whatever you're going through, it's real. It's real to you, therefore it's real. Don't minimize it. Don't let it take over your life. Recognize it and go get help. I'm going to say that again. Go get help. So next time somebody tells you what they're going through, please do not minimize their problems. Real world problems are first world problems. I want you guys to say that with me when you hear this. Real world problems are first world problems. People are reaching out for help. When you told me about DJ Twitch, it caught me so off guard because he seems like such an upbeat, happy-go-lucky guy that he's the last person that you think would do something like that. And I guarantee there are thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, if not a million people out there right now saying like, man, I wish I had his life. You know, I can't believe he had it going on. His wife is like, they're telling you if they had his life, how they would never have committed suicide. Everybody always talk about how they would never do it. First world problems are real world problems. People, encourage your friends to get help. Don't be the last person to talk to them.
Yeah. And what I'll kind of share one of the things that I had to do for a long time is, you know, you have those thoughts of nobody would care if I wasn't going to be here. It might not be a suicidal, I'm making a plan, but it's a nobody would care, or nobody, you know, it's not a big deal if I wasn't here or anything like that. And what I had to do is my therapist had me write down 10 names that would care when I was in my right mind, when I knew, right? Because you know people would care. And when those thoughts start creeping in, I literally carried it in my wallet and I just pull it out and read those names. Like that's what we get you through sometimes. So for anybody that's, you know, needs a coping mechanism, that's a coping mechanism that I use for a long time to make sure that I reminded myself, because that's all it is a lot of times with it, it's a trick that your mind's telling you, but it's untruth. So just remind yourself, and to break yourself out of that thought process, just pull that out. So just an easy coping mechanism that you can use to get you through. And if you do see that you're starting to use that, again, go to talk to a therapist, get some help, because, you know, if you're saying, well, I got this now, so I don't need to go talk to a therapist, there's more to it. And there's a lot more coping mechanisms out there and ways to get through it.
So yeah, don't YouTube your way out of it. Don't go get a self-help book your way out of it. Go
don't
get
start
help.
A podcast.
Go get help. Razi, thank you for sharing that. Hopefully I'm on that, on the 10 people, not put me down 10 more times. And for everybody that has to create that list, you got 3 people on the show right now that care that you're here. So we got 7 more. That's a start. And with that being said, Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. Happy holidays. Check us out every week. 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.